well, we're back. It's probably already out there, but we lost someone very near and dear to us. We lost our biggest fan. I don't know why it is so difficult for the undead to make it in this world, but it is. It's hard out here for a vampire, and yet you are the first one that always offered comforting words and advice. And you loved a little vampire before the world knew who I was. I'm not trying to say that I'm famous or anything like that, but you would be surprised how far encouraging words go, even for a vampire like me. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the good times. Thank you for the bad times. Thank you for loving me unconditionally. You saw the very best in me before anyone else did. And I will never forget that. Rest in peace, Mama Gentry. And though we grieve, we know that you would not want us to put a pause button on all of our lives. The show must go on. So therefore, we return to Feature of Fright, or Vlog of the Undead. It's all on brand.
From ghoulies and ghosties.
From ghoulies and ghosties.
And long-leggedy beasties.
And long-leggedy beasties.
And
things that go bump in the night. Good Lord! Deliver us.
With the riders' strike in full force, I have a lot more time on my hands. So, what better use of my time than to do a movie review? Seriously, do you have any better ideas? If you do, comment below. And while you're at it, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. This will help us expand the Tangled Web and finally get on the algorithm to make it work for us. Anyway, it's been a while since I've done a movie review, but I thought it would be a great time to sort of dust off my critic's chops and start going back and reviewing some of the movies that I've been streaming on my Twitch channel. In this case, I want to talk about Kraa. Now, as I said on the live stream, I am willing to bet that the name of the kaiju, for lack of a better term, or the name of the title character actually came from the theme song. Like a sort of the chicken before the egg scenario. Hey there, keyboardist dude. Oh, hey there, boss. What are you working on? Yeah, I'm just working on some really groovy mood pieces, but I'm not really sure what to do with them. Yeah? Let's hear it, my man. Okay. Wow, that's really cold. I meant cool. Hey, wait a minute. The monster movie that I'm making, the one I'm totally ripping off of the Matthew Broderick Godzilla film, that could be the theme song. Yes, we'll call it... The film opens up on a band of want-to-be Power Rangers in unusually skin-tight onesies, pursuing an intergalactic villain known as Lord Doom. Not to be confused with Dr. Doom from Fantastic Four. No, Lord Doom and his minion were manifested in a clearance sale from Spirit Halloween. Oh wow, Warwick Davis is in this movie. Doom's planet is dying, so he decides to conquer Earth and mooch off of us for our natural resources. In order to do this, he must elicit the aid of a monster mercenary who is part Godzilla and part piranha. The skin-tight Space Force is unable to make it to Earth because of engine failure on their ship. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So they decide to send us their worst agent, which tells you a lot about how they actually think about Earth.
Buonasera, gente della terra. Io mi chiamo Moghiar.
Oh, it's an Italian-speaking meatball. He has an Italian accent because initially he thought he was going to be landing in Italy, but of course he actually lands in some random diner with an Oprah Winfrey lookalike and some fat biker scientist with a really bad wig and beard. They rescue the alien just in time before the men in black break down the door for reasons? Apparently the US government is really weird about anyone trying to save the world but them. And they're not that good at it. That's right, you crazy meatball alien. Nobody tries to save the planet without filling out a 99 first. Only we get to save the planet after our lunch break and extended family vacation time. Men in Black eventually find the trio and take them to their secret hiding place to interrogate them because they believe that they are somehow responsible for Kraa showing up on Earth because, well, you know, profiling. But eventually, Kraa starts destroying the city, looking for our meatball alien friend. Our skin-tight Space Force is able to help the trio escape by subduing Kraa, incapacitating him by shooting a laser from their spaceship. This, of course, messes up their ship even more. In their cheap hotel, Oprah Winfrey wannabe, meatball alien, and biker scientist boy hatch a very convenient plan in which they will prank call a top-secret government lab to gain entrance, infiltrate, and then rig one of their high-tech lasers as a weapon to finally defeat Kraa. Oh, and by the way, they're able to do this because Meatball Alien also happens to be really good at Morse code or something like that. Well, I don't know.
Listen, Moghiar, I'm gonna run you the tones from 0 to 9.
I'm listening.
Yes, I can tell you the phone number, because it was music to my
The
ears.
phone number is 1-800-555-0005. Bada boom, bada bing.
Oh, God.
Well, it's worth a try.
But eventually they make their way to the lab, and of course, as they're scheming and figuring out how to rig the laser, well, the feds finally figure out their secret identity, and rather helping them destroy Kraa, they decide that, well, no, actually, this is our turf, so they basically try to kill our trio before they actually have a chance to kill Kraa. But fortunately, Biker Scientist Boy is able to, well, plug the machine in and finally defeat Kraa. Meanwhile, Lord Doom and his minion are seething in anger because their plan failed. Skin-tight Space Force is finally able to fix their ship, I think through the help of, like, mental telepathy or something. I don't know, the blonde agent was a sidekick, so somehow that figures into the plot, but it doesn't really matter. I'll explain in just a minute. They finally crash into Lord Doom's pity party, and, well, they kick butt and finally arrest Lord Doom and his minion, and the meatball alien and the rest of the skin-tight Space Force all get together at the end, have a good laugh about it, everything's hunky-dory, the end.
Hey guys, this ain't
Most
no
emotion
joke, guys
in
and
the
guys.
show.
Vaffanculo tutti.
Now, I know I sped through that synopsis and I probably left a few things out, but there is method to my madness. For one thing, this movie has a couple of build-ups that really don't go anywhere. For instance, Biker Scientist Boy. Yes, I know that that's not the real name of the character, but due to the vapid nature of the script, I didn't really find it necessary to remember most of the characters' names to begin with. Now, you look at his character arc in the film. You can tell that there are inklings of a backstory there. This guy knows a lot about different areas of science as well as the inner workings of the federal government, and yet nothing comes of it. It's just a convenient plot point. Another example, the blonde agent in the skin-tight Space Force. She's a psychic, and yet her being a psychic really doesn't add anything to the story, in my opinion. I feel like they could have just completely left that out, and the story probably would have moved along just fine. I feel like that overall the script was way too wooden anyway, and to me it just looks really tacky when they're trying to put some deeper meaning into it. They should have just kept it super simple, because I feel like the movie would have been just a little bit more enjoyable that way. It only irritated me that they had little kernels of character development, and they just decided not to flesh it out beyond that. It didn't work for me.
Was she? I don't know.
Seems like she's got an attitude about it.
Reporting for duty.
Stabilizers are back online.
Hey, Curtis, you did it. You saved the day.
Don't mind me
Totally
lovingly
sweet,
caressing your head.
Well, thanks to you guys.
Strictly professional. Of course, this is a B-movie. More specifically, this is a B-movie from Full Moon Features, presented to us by the Schlockmeister himself, Charles Band. This movie was probably made to coincide with the Matthew Broderick Godzilla film that came out around this same time. And, as demonstrated by my favorite part of the film, seems to be a very good litmus test of how most Godzilla fans felt when they saw the Matthew Broderick version. Oh, yes. Okay, this movie is totally worth watching. I had a lot of fun with that part. Now, I feel like we have to grade it on a curve just a little bit. We know going into this movie we're not going to get a big budget extravaganza. The movie has a lot of technical flaws. There's a couple of parts where the camera is very clearly out of focus. It's not Destroy All Monsters, but I really did like the creature effects in this film. I thought that they were convincing for the most part. I enjoyed the... That's a lie. I didn't like the meatball alien character.
Come on, the guys, the fun's a fun. There's gotta be something you can do.
But I really did find Kraa to be convincing. Now, I will say this. I am willing to bet that at least 90% of the budget went into making the Kraa monster suit. I think it's a suit monster. It looks like a suit monster. And I'm... You know, come to think of it. Follow me real quick. Kraa kind of looks similar to the creatures from the Roger Corman film Humanoids from the Deep. Just saying. Maybe the budget went into buying that particular suit and sprucing it up just a bit. But I digress. And I thought some of the destruction scenes, the scenes where Kraa would step on buildings and cars, and that weird breath that he had, which I'm not sure was breath, kind of looked like a supersonic boom. All of that was a little cheesy, but to me that's sort of half the fun of the movie. Like I said, we're grading on a curve here. Is this movie on par with such kaiju classics as Godzilla, or Rodan, King Kong, or even Varen? No, it's not. But if you enjoy monster movies, you enjoy cheesy, low-budget films, I think this movie is a lot of fun, and I would recommend it. I watched Kraa on Tubi, but I watch a lot of things. It's not a paid endorsement, but it doesn't matter. I love Tubi, and I recommend them and sing their praises. You can also find Kraa on DVD on Amazon.com, and if you happen to go that route and you watch it, let me know if there's a behind-the-scenes featurette. I might actually hunker down and get the DVD myself, and maybe do some sort of an addendum to this review to gain some more insight, but anyway. So, that is my review of Kraa. If you like CountDrahoon's Feature of Fright, be sure to give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to go a step further and help us keep the lights off, might I suggest becoming a patron through our Patreon page. If you pledge a monthly donation on Patreon right now, you will get access to our private Facebook group and early access to any episodes of CountDrahoon's Feature of Fright, Vlog of the Undead, all content that we're working on behind the scenes, early and ad-free. but we don't really have any ads yet. But once we get them, you won't have them. And we will be sure to give you a shout out at the end of every episode, like our patron, Zach Robinson, Cova Gentry. Or you can subscribe to Trauma Now for $4.99 a month, where you will get access to all kinds of trauma content. In addition to The Toxic Avenger, Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD, you'll also get the unabridged versions of our radio plays. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show, and be sure to join us next time for yet another feature of fright. Until then, as far as things go when things go bump in the night, there are such things.
From ghoulies and ghosties.
From ghoulies and ghosties.
And long-leggedy beasties.
And long-legged beasties.
And
things that go bump in the night. Good Lord! Deliver us!